It's 4 o'clock. The top stories live on 7 News. The desperate race to find survivors after Nepal's flash flood disaster. The mystery over a teenage girl found injured near a major highway in Sydney's southwest. Meta's big settlement to end a case over teenage addiction. Harry and Meghan quietly arrive in England to begin the next chapter of their lives. And tributes continue for the Queen of Country, Dolly Parton.
Live from Sydney, this is 7 News with Ann Sanders.
Good afternoon. Searchers along Nepal's border with Tibet are in a desperate race to find hundreds of missing people, among them at least 34 Australians, after a swollen Himalayan river swamped everything in its path. Tim Lester is following the rescue efforts. Tim, this tragedy has hit a mecca of sorts for foreign travellers.
Yes, well, Anne, for hikers it's the Himalayan draw card, but then there's Buddhist and Hindu pilgrims heading to sacred sites, thousands of foreign visitors, all trapped when nature took an astonishing turn. The Bokashi River east of Mount Everest, flowing from Tibet into Nepal, surges up to 9 metres unannounced. Houses and bridges swallowed as the torrent of water and mud overwhelms everything in its path. My wife was buried in the mudslide, he says. We were on a terrace. After 4 to 5 hours, I was rescued by a helicopter. How many people are missing or dead, he says, we just don't know.
About 10,000 people must be swept away from all the river banks.
The official death toll is already 160, most in Nepal. Almost 700 now listed as missing. Nepal's tourism ministry says 340 are foreign visitors.
People would have seen some of the footage, which is a truly horrific event. At this point, there are 34 Australians who are missing.
We understand these Australians were part of separate pilgrimage and tour groups.
The Foreign Affairs Minister asking Australians in the region to consult the department's Smart Traveller webpage. She says those who need help can call Australia's 24-hour consular emergency centre.
We are currently deploying further DFAT personnel, including crisis response experts, to the region.
There may be casualties similar to the scale that we have had in earthquake. Maybe thousands, it reaches many thousands.
Known for whitewater rafting and kayaking, the Bokashi River may now well be notorious for what's called an ice avalanche. At first, geologists thought an earthquake had triggered the wall of water. They now believe that it may have been, in fact, the 5.2 magnitude tremor was the point of impact after an ice sheet broke away from a glacier and plummeted more than 1,000 metres. Anne.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. Tim Lester joining us live from Canberra. Detectives in our southwest are investigating after a teenage girl was found, believed to be unconscious, on the side of a highway by 2 passing truck drivers early this morning. The 13-year-old was discovered on Henry Lawson Drive near the Hume Highway at Lansdowne around 1 a.m. She was rushed to hospital and police are investigating how the young teenager was injured. There's been a resolution to a court case in the United States, with Meta agreeing to pay $18 billion to settle claims that Instagram and Facebook are addictive to children. Meta also agreeing to changes to protect teenagers in the future, but for now, only in America.
Tonight, Meta, the parent of Facebook and Instagram, shelling out $18 billion to settle a lawsuit accusing the tech giant of designing its social media sites to addict children, fueling a teen mental health crisis. A bipartisan group of 29 states brought the suit, now celebrating the landmark settlement.
We're making Meta pay.
These are significant changes that will keep your kids and mine safer.
Meta denying wrongdoing, but promising to change how children and teens use Facebook and Instagram.
The framework we've negotiated will empower parents to easily manage their children's access to our platforms.
Among those changes, a 2-hour daily time limit for teens under 18, a nighttime block between midnight and 6 a.m., stronger age verification, hiding the number of likes on a post, and blocking teens from using extreme beauty filters. The settlement coming 4 days into a trial where Meta was potentially facing hundreds of billions of dollars in damages. Now the company will pay $18 billion, roughly just 1 month of its revenue. For New Jersey mother Erin Popolo, this is personal. She says her 17-year-old daughter, Emily, died by suicide after being bullied, including on Instagram.
You don't think this is a quick fix for kids and parents?
No, it's not a quick fix for kids and parents. It's kind of a Band-Aid. This is a good start, but we still need laws in place. We still need federal legislation.
A new chapter in the lives of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. It emerged today that they have quietly touched down in the UK after packing up their lives in Los Angeles. The Sussexes are believed to be settling in the Cotswolds with their 2 young children. Isabel Mullen has more.
Well, Harry and Meghan have managed to fly under the radar, landing at Birmingham Airport. The media none the wiser. We do have these aerial shots to show you, though, of their private jet sitting there on the runway. They made that 15-hour journey from California to the UK earlier today. Their kids, Archie and Lilibet, with them ahead of the English school term starting next week. They are believed to have then made their way to the Cotswolds. We understand that's where they may be living. They do have a number of friends there. It's where Meghan celebrated her hens party. They will be among many other famous faces, including the likes of the Beckhams and Simon Cowell. Meghan expected to reignite her acting work, reportedly in talks with Guy Ritchie about starring in his Netflix series The Gentleman. There were those conflicting reports about whether that will happen. We now understand it is still on the cards. Harry expected to expand his charity work. When the kids do go back to school next week, we won't expect that fanfare that we normally see around other royal kids, like those milestone photos that are released. This really will be a private family affair. There's been no comment from the palace, but the king is said to be very excited to spend more time with his grandchildren.
Amber Laidler joins us now with the latest on our weather. Hi there, Amber. Skies have cleared right throughout the day.
Good afternoon, Anne. Yes, it was cloudy to start. A few showers passing over the city early too. As you can see here, falls generally only light, though, 1 millimetre at most since 9 a.m. across most suburbs, with that cloud clearing and blue skies returning as we went into the afternoon. Tops today have still been pretty mild. 21 was the warmest at Penrith and also across parts of the southwest. 18 to 20 degrees elsewhere. 17 was the top at Terry Hills, 16 today out at Katoomba, with temperatures hovering pretty close to average in most parts of the state today. Generally nice and settled as well, aside from a few light scattered showers that have mostly cleared into the afternoon. Conditions are looking nice and settled for the last few days of winter, with a burst of warm weather on the way for the first day of spring. I'll have more details on that coming up in your full forecast soon, Anne.
See you then, Amber. And still to come in Sydney's afternoon news on 7, how the war in the Middle East is affecting Qantas. Profits are down, but the national carrier says it's still going strong. Nearly 25 years since the horrific 9/11 attacks, one of its alleged masterminds prepares to front court. And tributes for British actor Tim Curry after the star of the Rocky Horror Picture Show passes away, aged 80. Qantas says the war in the Middle East has cost the company $420 million and its profit is down. CEO Vanessa Hudson says the airline is still strong, with many Australians still planning to travel. Aviation editor Blake Johnson has more from Qantas HQ in Sydney.
Qantas has kept a lid on the adverse effects from the Middle East war, announcing another big profit despite taking a hit from higher fuel prices. $1.29 billion is what the airline group made after tax. That's down around $300 million. The only real speed bump was the $420 million cost of the Middle East war that made flight paths tricky and jet fuel more than twice as expensive.
We are in a strong position with our diversified portfolio, a strong balance sheet and clear momentum across the business. Demand remains resilient. Intention to travel is high.
17 new aircraft arrived last financial year, 31 are on the way this year, costing $4 billion. But out of the airline's hands, traffic controller issues at Sydney Airport that created several close calls and many delays.
The impact has been significant. We've seen 60,000 customers across July impacted and our on-time performance impacted by that.
New business class lie-flat seats are coming to narrow-body Airbus 321 XLRs, plus a new batch of Boeing 787s will have refreshed interiors too. These will help replace the popular but expensive A380 being retired from 2028 a few years early.
The A380s have 4 engines, where the new aircraft will have 2, and of course the new aircraft are going to be able to fly from Sydney to London and Sydney to New York direct, where the A380 just can't do that.
We can expect Jetstar's revenue to increase when it starts charging for the use of overhead luggage bins in February. Shareholders will also be happy with today's announcement, scoring a $300 million dividend.
There's some hope. Embattled property developer Laidler Group will survive. The company is urgently seeking up to $20 million to avoid going into liquidation. During an urgent meeting of lenders, administrators requested the funding so parent company University Property Group can continue operating. Thousands of homes under construction across our west are now in limbo, with Laidler owing $3.2 billion in outstanding debts. A trial date has finally been set for one of the key alleged masterminds of 9/11. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed has been held at Guantanamo Bay for 20 years. Often referred to as KSM, he'll face a military commission in June 2027. The announcement was made 2 weeks before the 25th anniversary of the attacks. Spain's annual food fight has attracted thousands of tourists who went into battle pelting each other with overripe tomatoes. 165 tonnes of tomatoes were trucked into Valencia for the popular event. They were left soaked in red puree from head to toe. And the golden rule, you must squash the tomato before throwing it. Actor Tim Curry, star of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, has passed away after a long battle with illness. The 80-year-old who played Frankenfurter is being remembered around the world, and also by one Australian who starred alongside him 53 years ago. Here's Nick McCallum.
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
Tim Curry was Dr. Frankenfurter, the first star of the Rocky Horror Show. He was responsible for the outfit, the accent, everything.
After I did Rocky Horror, which was one part in drag, you know what I was offered? The Brooke Shields part in Blue Lagoon.
At 20, Sydney singer Nell Campbell starred alongside Curry at the very first performance in 1973.
Spun around on stage, flung off his big cape, and there he was in fishnet pearl stilettos and a corset. He blew everyone's mind, and everyone in that audience, men and women, just worshipped him right away, and it was like that every single night.
Curry went on to star as the nosy concierge in Home Alone 2.
A limousine and a pizza, compliments of the Plaza Hotel.
As Long John Silver in The Muppets Treasure Island, and most famously as Pennywise, the murderous clown.
I, Georgie, am Pennywise, the dancing clown.
In the TV series of Stephen King's It.
After Rocky Horror, you know, he was concerned about being typecast, but of course he went on to have the most glittering and versatile career you can imagine.
But his stellar career cut short by a stroke in 2012, which left him in a wheelchair, but he never lost his sense of humour.
They put me in an ambulance, and a very nice paramedic said, "I'm going to give you morphine," and I said, "Bring it on."
His friends today devastated, but comforted with this thought.
Dolly Parton and Tim are up there right now, fighting over the microphone who gets to wear the most rhinestones. Just saying.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
Still ahead on our afternoon news, how rugged terrain is hindering rescue efforts in Nepal. The real estate industry braces for a bleak spring selling season. The top tips for vendors. In sport with Matt White, the latest on Canterbury's COVID outbreak, how the Bulldogs will line up. And Mitchell Starc, the best in the world, only getting better with age. That's next.
On 7 News, the interest rate battle. Banks fighting for your business. Why walking away could save you thousands. The new simple script getting Australians a better deal. On 7 News, live at 6.
Hello, tonight in 7 News, dozens of Australians feared dead in Nepal's devastating flood. The world joins Nashville in farewelling Dolly Parton. A firebug on the run after torching a car in a Moorebank driveway. Why spring is shaping up to be a horror season for home sales, and how Sydney's preparing for its biggest ever running event. 7 News at 6.
Time for sport now with Matt White, and there is a clean bill of health at Canterbury, Matt.
Finally, and it has been a worry, but the Bulldogs are COVID-free, according to their coach Cameron Ciraldo, who expects his side to run out as named tomorrow night against the Panthers. That includes star back rower Jacob Preston, who's now committed to the club until 2031.
We're really confident we'd get a deal done, and it's good that it's out of the way now. And thought Jacob's handled that period really well, and I'm excited about what he's going to do tomorrow, considering that's off his back now and he can just focus on footy.
The Dogs were the first team to beat the Panthers this season back in round 6. Get turbo. That's the message from Dragons coach Dean Young as his side tries to end Manly's mathematical shot at stealing 8th place.
When Turbo's back, you're always worried about him because he's one of those players that make everyone in the team feel better about themselves, and we need to make sure that we've got him shored up first.
The Seagulls are realistic but still full of hope.
I still, firmly believe whilst there's a chance that we can play finals, we will hang on to that and we will fight for every inch. That's the sort of footy team we want to be, and this club's never been any different.
Manly will celebrate Nathan Brown's 200th game as well as the 30th anniversary of the 1996 Grand Final winning team. Swans AFLW coach Colin O'Riordan says the club remains fully united in the wake of Sydney's alleged sexual assault scandal. The emotion of the week laid bare on players' faces in last weekend's double-header at the SCG.
I know the majority of the boys and most of them, to be honest, have our backs. And that's what the girls see and that's what they love and they cherish. So as a club, like I said earlier, we're really united on this and the boys are testament to that too.
The Swans women face St Kilda in Coffs Harbour on Saturday afternoon. Mitchell Starc has officially been crowned the best bowler currently in Test cricket. The Aussie paceman has overtaken India's Jasprit Bumrah on the ICC's world rankings. Starc's rise to the top followed his match-winning effort in Mackay, his 10-wicket haul helping Australia crush Bangladesh inside 2 days. It's the first time the left armour has claimed the top spot on the Test bowling rankings. Nikita Zoo's world title hopes have been dashed. For now, 12 gruelling rounds with fellow Aussie Ben Marnie ended in a controversial split decision draw in last night's world title eliminator on the Gold Coast. And speaking afterwards, the world number 5 said he was lucky to split it.
I gave the fight to Ben, honestly. It was a close fight, but I thought he edged it.
The prize for the winner was a chance to face Britain's Josh Kelly for the super welterweight crown. To surfing, and Australia's Jack Robinson has crashed out of the Fiji Pro at Cloudbreak. Robinson lost his second round heat to Hawaiian Baron Mimia. Fellow Aussies Morgan Sibilic and Callum Robson both advanced to round 3.
Open, stalls more to get an extra extension in the tube. Well read way for the Australian and a couple
America's
of backsides.
Griffin Colapinto had the ride of the day, a 9.5 to win his heat. In tennis, Serena and Venus Williams have received wildcards for the US Open doubles. They'll be looking to add to their 14 major doubles titles won together, 2 of those at Flushing Meadows. And Serena is coming off a quarter-final run in the mixed doubles with world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz. Venus will compete in the singles event as well. And on 7 News tonight at 6, our exclusive interview with swimming superstar Kaylee McEwen. The 5-time Olympic gold medalist reveals how she'll defend her titles at the LA Games in 2028, plus her plans to start a family after those games.
I'm going to let that speak for itself in 2 years' time. I hope that I'm on the podium and I hope that after that I'll be a mum.
But she'll have to beat a serious and painful medical condition to do so. The full story tonight on 7 News at 6, and she is an amazing competitor on the way back. A captivating story tonight.
Oh, really look forward to that. Okay. Thank you, Matt. The top stories are next on 7 News, including the latest on the rescue effort on the Nepal-Tibet border after raging flash floods. The former building commissioner takes the stand at the corruption inquiry. The big slump in the number of houses being put on the market, and runners limber up for this weekend's Sydney Marathon.
Live from Sydney, this is 7 News with Ann Sanders.
Welcome back. These are our top stories on 7. Rescuers in Nepal facing challenging conditions as they race to find survivors from a flash flood. More in a moment. A mystery unfolding in our west after a teenage girl was found injured by a major highway. Meta's $18 billion settlement to end a case over teenage social media addiction. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex make a quiet return to the UK. And tributes continue for the Queen of Country as the world remembers Dolly Parton. Returning to our lead story and the flood disaster unfolding in Nepal. This is a live shot from Nepal where rescuers are searching for more than 1,500 people who are still missing. Among them are 34 Australians.
A harrowing moment when the flooding hit. Passengers on a bus panicking as they watch people trying to outrun a monster wave. A surveillance camera on the Tibet side of the China-Nepal border showing crowds running for cover just before a building is wiped away by a wall of water. The trail of destruction along the border catastrophic. Construction workers scrambling to escape as the wave barrels towards them. That red truck also trying to outrun the torrent of water but eventually is swept away. Buses lined up on this parking garage quickly destroyed. In Nepal, before and after images showing the overwhelming scale of destruction. Entire communities along the border submerged in water and mud, effectively erased. In all, hundreds are now missing, including nearly 300 foreign tourists. Officials in Canberra say at least 34 are Australian. The Nepal Army has been deployed to the areas hardest hit, many now buried in mud. This woman among the survivors. What caused the floods is still unclear, though officials believe an earthquake may have triggered an ice avalanche that unleashed disaster. A race against the clock on both sides of the border. Mike Amor, 7 News.
An animation from Google Earth shows the Himalayan border region between Nepal and Tibet. It traces the possible path of the ice rock avalanche, which is believed to have triggered the catastrophic flooding. This is before the disaster, but it shows the mountainous area northeast of the border crossing where the event happened. Authorities are still worried about a blockage upstream that could raise the risk of further flooding. The ruggedness of the terrain means it could take days to determine how many Australians have been caught up in the tragedy. This morning, our Foreign Minister Penny Wong announced a special team from DFAT will be sent to Nepal to help our diplomatic staff in the region. Here's Minister Wong.
We are currently deploying further DFAT personnel, including crisis response experts, to the region. I've asked DFAT to ensure that we do provide the support needed to these posts, particularly our post in Nepal. I'm sure there are many Australians who are very concerned about friends or family who may be in this region. I would say to you at this stage, access and information are very limited given the scale of disaster. We will do our best to ascertain whatever information we can. We are urgently seeking to confirm the welfare and whereabouts of Australians, and we will be in touch with their loved ones as soon as we have any confirmed information that we can share. Australians in need of consular assistance should contact our 24-hour consular emergency centre, 1300 555 135, or +61 262 61 3305 if calling from overseas. If there are Australians in Australia who have friends or family who they believe are in the region, you can provide that information also to those numbers that I have outlined.
The corruption inquiry has heard details of threats, menacing phone calls and a concocted $5 million extortion plot in another explosive day of evidence. Inaugural Building Commissioner David Chandler telling the ICAC disgraced developer Jean Nassif threatened physical violence if he didn't sign off on his defective residential buildings.
Well, he just basically said, don't you harm my project, and if you harm my project, I'll harm you. Sent me several text messages, and I think there are copies of those that have been provided to the Commission, where it was basically always followed by a pair of hands praying, so please, help me get my certificate of occupancy.
The inquiry is investigating alleged illegal donations made by Mr Nassif to the Liberal Party. With another potential interest rate rise and more price falls on the real estate horizon, all signs are pointing to a bleak spring selling season. And there are some areas vendors should be wary of. Here's our property editor, Angelique Opie.
Days away from what's normally meant to be the most bustling period for Sydney's property market is shaping up to be anything but. Spring selling season is set to be one of the most challenging in years.
I don't think we'll see as many new listings coming to market simply because sellers will be holding off, waiting for conditions to improve. They'll need to be realistic about their pricing expectations.
The lowest clearance rates on the Central Coast, in the southwest, Parramatta, Borkham Hills and Hawkesbury areas. Fewer than 40% of homes there are selling under the hammer.
We're also seeing more negotiation in the market as well. Discounting rates are getting close to 5% now from the original asking price.
Open homes seeing very little foot traffic in Barangaroo, Putney, Oakville, the Ponds and Auburn. Fewer than one person on average attended each open home through August.
Sydney open home numbers are certainly down compared to the same time last year. So on average we're seeing around 2 people per open home. This time last year it was about 4 people.
If you find the right house, just obviously make an offer and try and buy at a level that you're happy with. If not, wait a little bit longer, but don't think you're going to pick the bottom of the market.
Some say the missing piece of the puzzle is simply confidence that buyers are cautious another interest rate rise and more price falls could come.
Police have launched raids against outlaw motorcycle gangs in the New England region of New South Wales. Raptor squad officers arrested 5 people and seized 26 firearms and other weapons. The raids targeted the Bandidos outlaw motorcycle gang. During the raids, police also seized illegal cigarettes, illicit drugs and cash. For long-distance runners, the wait is nearly over. Sydney is gearing up for its biggest ever marathon this weekend, with tens of thousands of runners expected to descend on the harbour city. Rebecca Gaetaniris reports.
The Harbour City will see a record of 40,000 runners from 162 countries flood into the city to tackle the gruelling 42-kilometre run. And for those not running, organisers are expecting around 500,000 spectators to line the streets as runners go for gold. Major citywide road closures will be in place between 2 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. from North Sydney, the CBD, Pyrmont, Darlington Hurst, Moore Park to Kingsford. The Harbour Bridge will be put in lockdown from around 3 a.m. but extra bus and train services will be added to accommodate this. Organisers say the event continues to attract the masses. Participation numbers exploded in 2025, attracting 35,000 runners, making it Australia's largest marathon. The race particularly gaining significant international demand following Sydney's status as a world marathon major.
We had 125,000 people apply, so a lot of people missed out, so really strong demand still moving forward. 40,000 runners, it's the biggest ever in Australia.
The city will reap the benefits with the iconic event set to inject a whopping $120 million into the local economy. It will certainly be a great weekend to showcase what Sydney has to offer, with the weather shaping up to be ideal.
The loss of country music icon Dolly Parton is being felt right around the world, and the city she once called home is remembering and honouring her legacy. Friends and fans arriving in Nashville to pay tribute to the once-in-a-generation star. US correspondent Rob Scott reports.
Well, Dolly Parton was a once-in-a-generation talent, and her loss is being felt right around the world today, but nowhere more so than right here in her adopted hometown of Nashville, where her hit songs are still being belted out by some of the live acts in the bars here along the honky-tonk highway. Her fans are still in shock. Many never met her, but they felt like they knew her, connected to her through her music, her fashion, her philanthropy. Her death has left a big hole in their lives and in this community more broadly. Tributes to the Queen of Country popping up all over town, the biggest outside her home, where there has been a constant stream of people coming to pay their respects today.
I don't even have words at the moment, but I've admired her my whole life. I've been here 3 times already since yesterday. I just don't think it's real, but unfortunately it is.
I cried, and this might be sad to say, I cried harder for Dolly than I did my own mother. The world lost a friend, the world, and that's pretty powerful to say, but she's touched so many people, so I wanted to show my appreciation.
So for the past few years, Dolly has generously supported my nonprofit. I never got to meet her, but anytime we would send guitars or motorcycle helmets, she would autograph them. I keep saying she is the Mother Teresa of country music.
I think loved by everyone, obviously, by the show of support. She just seemed very grounded and very unapologetic for who she was, and I think most people could connect to that.
Right people blaring her music, and it's every kind of culture and person and background and demographic you can imagine. And if we can unite under that, her heart, that's amazing. I hope she's got a makeup artist and a lot of sequins and rhinestones up in heaven. I hope they have their room prepared accordingly.
The mountain of flowers and cards taken in from the rain, Dolly's family wanted to protect them, but it didn't take long for more to start appearing. And it's not just here Dolly is being celebrated. Landmarks all over the world, including in Melbourne, have been lit up to remember her. Even the royal family organising this special tribute outside Buckingham Palace. Lots of Dolly's celebrity friends have shared some of their fondest memories of her today. One of the most heartfelt from her goddaughter, Miley Cyrus. The feeling of losing my Aunt Dolly is beyond what feels right to share. What I know is Dolly would want me to feel it, write a song about it, and then continue on and be strong. I have an angel by my side, I always have. And in honour of Dolly, her theme park, Dollywood, opened for business as normal today. Staff there saying she would have wanted the show to go on. And it already is, with live music pouring out of almost every venue here on Broadway, where Dolly's legacy lives on.
Still ahead in our afternoon news, a Queensland couple awarded a national award for helping those in the bush. How Bunnings is continuing to drive profits for its parent company. And it's 17 degrees in Manly this afternoon. We'll have your full forecast coming up soon.
On 7 News, the interest rate battle. Banks fighting for your business. Why walking away could save you thousands. The new simple script getting Australians a better deal. On 7 News, live at 6.
The Prime Minister has crowned the 2026 Bush Champions at the National Bush Summit in Dubbo. Many of them, including parents who lost their son in a farming accident, have turned tragedy into hope by helping others. Reporter Hamish Southwell caught up with some of the winners.
I'm here at the National Bush Summit here in Dubbo, and I'm joined by a Queensland couple, Philip and Adele Hughes, who have just been named the overall National Bush Champions and Ag Champions too. I guess, Adele, to you first, how do you feel after receiving the awards last night?
Yeah, well, obviously very humbled, because it's sort of our passion, I suppose. After having lost Locke, we've made a positive thing, come out of a pretty ordinary situation.
When we lost Locke, we were obviously devastated, because he was the leader in our family and an innovator, and he was a great mentor of his own peer group. So when we lost him, it was the shock of it, because it happened quite quickly and there was no time to adjust. So to help try and handle the grief we set up the foundation. We want to expose people to regen ag. That's what regenerative ag, and how they understand how their land function, understand how their soils function, understand plant succession, understand how you can, the tools you can use to repair that or to improve that.
Am I right in saying that you've been a foster mum to over 120 children?
Yeah, we have.
Tell me, how did you get into that path?
Mainly through my work as a police officer, I saw the need, so we filled the need. Everyone digs deep and helps where they can.
Looking at legacy too, I guess, talk to me a bit about your involvement there.
Well, legacy isn't just a one day a year for Anzac Day, it's all year round. We've got 5 widows in Alice Springs that need help occasionally, so I sell bits and bobs in shopping centres to raise funds for the widows there so that they can have washing machines or lunches or time out as they need.
On your journey, you've overcome a massive health battle. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. On my 12th birthday, I was diagnosed with high-grade metastatic osteoblastic osteosarcoma, which is just a very long name for bone cancer.
That's triggered a fundraising effort. How much money have you raised?
Personally, I've raised over $2 million now, but the Tie-Dye Project, which is my charity that I co-founded with Amy Parmenter, one of our Australian diamonds, has raised over $1.4 million, so very proud of the efforts there.
Thanks very much, Hamish. Bunnings has done much of the heavy lifting for parent company Wesfarmers, helping the retail giant deliver a $2.9 billion underlying profit. Sales grew across Bunnings, Kmart and Target. Officeworks and its chemicals business and its Priceline-led health division jumped more than 9%. Long-time Bunnings boss Michael Schneider announced he'll retire early next year. And looking at the day's finance now, and the share market fell sharply today amid concerns of another rate rise next month. The ASX 200 is down about 89 points. There's been some movement in the market. Wesfarmers fell despite reporting that rise in full-year profit. Woolworths stocks also lost ground. Aussie dollar buying around 71.8 US cents. Our 6 p.m. news is coming up with Michael Usher and Angie Asmus. Hello, Angie. What's on the program?
Hello, Anne. Well, staggering devastation coming out of Nepal. There are grave fears for dozens of Australians missing after a catastrophic flood. We have details on a tour group from Western Sydney who are among those unaccounted for, and we've spoken to the families of some of those missing. Plus at 6, we'll be live to a Sydney vigil. Also tonight, police have been left baffled after a high school girl was found near the Hume Highway in Lansdowne in the middle of the night, the latest on their investigation. Meta has agreed to a multi-billion-dollar payout to settle its teen social media addiction lawsuit. How its new changes to Instagram and Facebook will affect Australian children. High interest rates are here to stay, but mortgage holders don't have to suffer in silence. Tips for locking in a better deal. And what you need to know for the Sydney Marathon this weekend. And all of those stories and plenty more for you in Sydney's 7 News at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you then, Angie. Thank you. To some breaking news now. World-renowned artist Yayoi Kusama has passed away. The avant-garde Japanese artist, known for her psychedelic paintings, sculptures and immersive installations featuring her trademark polka dot designs. Kusama said the dots were inspired by hallucinations she experienced since childhood. Her studio announced her death today, saying she passed away in a Tokyo hospital earlier this month. She was 97. Next in 7's afternoon news, Amber will be here with your latest weather forecast across Sydney and right around the country. Amber's here with our weather forecast now. Amber, how long is this sunshine set to last?
And settled conditions are now set to persist until early next week after clouds cleared and made way for plenty of sunshine this afternoon. It's currently hovering around 17 degrees in the city in a gentle easterly breeze. Picking up the satellite image now, and showers have been easing along the coastal fringe today as a trough weakened. We've also got this system of high pressure that's been moving into New South Wales today. It could continue to generate the odd shower to parts of the coastal fringe due to onshore winds, but generally the state is looking nice and clear with that system to promote clear, calm conditions across the next 7 days. But taking a look around the capitals, with the exception of Melbourne, it is looking nice and settled tomorrow. A shower or two and 17 degrees on the way there. Partly cloudy and a top of 15 in Hobart. Some sunshine on the way for Adelaide, 21 the top there. 21 under mostly sunny skies in Perth, looking hot and sunny up in Darwin. 25 degrees under partly cloudy skies in Brisbane with some morning fog, then a mostly sunny 17 tomorrow in Canberra. Meanwhile, here in Sydney, clear skies are forecast. Southeasterlies picking up slightly in the early afternoon, but otherwise only light winds expected. 20 is the forecast top in the city, with a top of 22 forecast tomorrow in the city's west. This sunshine is seemingly here to stay. Temperatures climbing too as we head into spring, soaring into the mid to high 20s next week, just in time for the new season. Got to be pretty happy with that, and your detailed outlook for the weekend ahead.
For sure. Thanks a lot, Amber. And that is our 4 p.m. news for this Thursday. Your next bulletin is 7 News at 6. The Chase Australia is up next. I'm Anne Sanders. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a great night.